Daniel, Yohannes, you know better than I do the constraints we have here in the United States with regard to our budget and the deficit and the debt. So that leads me to ask you what you think the future of MCC will be. Will it be subject to cuts in terms of your funding from the Congress? How do you see the prospects for continuing to operate?
Well, in the last 3 years, we've had a very flat budget at almost $900 million. All right, and we also need to understand that we are operating in a very constrained budget environment. It's not easy. I mean, it's not easy here at home. It's not easy overseas with the donors, you know, because of some of the economic issues in Europe. So our funding today is less than what it's been 4 or 5 years ago, definitely. And frankly, the next few years, I'm not sure it's going to get any better. Now, I think we have to be much more smarter in terms of how we invest in many of our partner countries. At the end of the day, it's not so much about the money, it's how well it's invested. You know, our approach to development is like a business. We only invest in those projects that are expected to have a very good economic rate of return for American taxpayers and also for our partner countries. So, in addition, what we've begun to do is to team up with others, whether it be the private sector, other NGOs, other government development agencies here at home or abroad, is how could we have the most impact with the very few, very precious resources? How do we get the best return? And how could we make get the biggest bang? So our strategy is to reach out to others. But clearly, in this environment, you have to be extremely careful and be extremely selective where you deploy American taxpayers' funds. Of course, ultimately, I think we need to understand that foreign aid is for our own national security. It is in our prosperity and it is in our security. All right. By doing so, we also created the next set of trading partners for American businesses. You know, by doing good, but also we're also doing extremely well. But like I said, I think when you have an environment like this, you just have to make sure that you are being extremely selective where you invest and the kind of return that you should expect to get from partner countries.
But it seems to me that it's still a very small drop in the bucket when you consider the bang for the buck that the U.S. taxpayer is getting for Millennium Challenge Corporation. So it seems to me that you have a challenge of selling that to members of Congress, some of whom may be skeptical.
We've enjoyed the support of both Republicans and Democrats for the last 8 years. And again, like anything else, like any business, you have to be able to convince them, you have to show them what's being done, the kind of benefit people are seeing in many of our partner countries. Like anything else, if you have the results, I think people are going to support it. If you don't have the results, then people are going to question about what you do. But having said that, we are very transparent. We believe in transparency. Investment is a risky business. It's a risky business here at home, and I've come from that world for the last 30 years. It's also very risky when you work overseas, all right? Not every single investment is expected to provide you with the kind of return that you expect. Some is going to be low. In fact, in some cases, you don't make money. In some cases, it's going to be at expectation. In some cases, it's going to be above and beyond expectation. I think what we need to do is what we always do at MCC, is to go back and look in terms of why did not we achieve the desired results, and then we have the flexibility to make corrections to make sure that future investments are achieving the desired results. So again, it's just a matter of being very selective and expect a lot from our partner countries.
What mechanisms do you have in place to measure impact?
I think we have one of the most rigorous systems than any development agencies in the world. All right. We have a very rigorous monitoring evaluation that we monitor on almost daily basis. When we talk about results, we talk from a continuum basis. We measure the outcomes, the outputs, and eventually the investment's income, the investment's ability to generate additional income for our partner countries. And we have independent consultants that looks in terms of what has been done and what kind of incomes are being generated. So in addition to our own people that monitor it on almost daily basis, our numbers are always verified by independent consultants from outside.